First time these guys have played in like 15 days.
Game paused.
And Clem's gonna need a pause. Oof. No worries, we'll take a moment. So yeah, first time they've played in a while. Like I say, we're used to seeing them play in, if not this event, then the Monday Night Weekly or the Picasso Cup, and just so many online weekly cups they meet in. Just a moment or two. Have I seen the RSL model? What's the RSL model? I don't know what you mean. I don't know what an RSL is. Hope we get a different EWC bracket. The last one sucked. The Tasteless Revival. Oh, the RSL, the Revival League. Oh, I thought you were talking about like a model, as in like a model train or something, or. Well, you mean like the model of crowdfunding or something, or tournament format, or what specifically? How much is first prize money for this event? This is just $200 for first place. But let me know if you mean something different, Chemo. Competition model. It's just wait, I actually don't know what their format is actually. Isn't it just like four groups into like a bracket or something? I actually realize now that I actually don't know. I haven't really paid attention. Yo, Palkin, thank you so much for the 61-month resub, mate. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Oh, for GSL? I think GSL first place prize was like $8,000 or thereabouts. And it was like a $28,000 prize pool overall. I think first place was like 8K. I think. They announced it yesterday. It's quite similar to GSL. I don't know. I haven't read it at all. I'm not really keeping up with it, to be honest. I don't have much interest, unfortunately. Gary popping, Barracks coming through. STV and still coming along. Cybercore coming up as well. And as we get ourselves the first few moments underway, as we come out of that pause and we get back on track again. Now you've made me interested in seeing what the tournament format is, because you've made it sound interesting. Why did they even announce it? It just looks like a normal tournament format on Wikipedia. Oh, they announced having invite slots in the community vote on who they want to see and for maps? Oh, yeah, I read all of that when they first announced it. Yeah, I mean... Yeah, it's... Honestly, by the time you've already ran invites and qualifiers and stuff, then... I don't know if the community deciding like 2 final slots is really that much. I actually would rather see open qualifiers than community voting on people who play in a tournament. Especially when it gets down to that point, because obviously like people would vote on like Clem and herO and stuff, but like I feel like the final 2 slots, when it comes down to like what could be like a really intense qualifier that's actually at like a kind of a cool break point in StarCraft of like who makes it in. I think I would rather see people battle it out skill-wise and make a good run than having a popularity contest at that point, I think. But I mean, that's just me. I've always been much more about qualifiers and player skill and stuff like that, so... I think the community voting on maps is an absolutely horrendous idea. That part I will stand by through and through. All you have to do to realize that is to go and look at the TLMC public voting results for the last, how many TLMCs have there been? 17 or something? All 17. Because, no offense, guys, 90% of you guys in chat have no idea about maps. And just because the community really wants to see a 3-player map, I don't think it should be wasting a slot in the map pool. Class Fantasy is vetoed so much, it's genuinely just a wasted slot in the map pool. And it's there because the community wants a 3-player map. But what does it matter if the community wants a 3-player map if the 3-player map never gets played, you know? You know what I mean? Like, this, I mean, it goes beyond this as well, and it's not just Last Fantasy, but like, a lot of the time, the maps that get voted highly in TLMC, people complain, the highly rated TLMC maps never make the ladder. And it's like, well, the highly rated ones just weren't actually always the best maps, you know? Incorporeal gets vetoed just as much. No way does it get vetoed just as much. There's no way Last Fantasy gets played more than Incorporeal. I refuse to believe it. Yo, thank you, by the way, Kiank. Coming with 2 gifted subs. One to Pyramid and one to Grunefeld back. I don't know what's going on with my alerts. They're not popping right now. I feel like the SCT scene could have done so much more for sponsorships, marketing, etc. There's no reason why it shouldn't be as big as League, Dota, etc. I think one of the bigger problems that StarCraft 2 has is obviously Blizzard had a handhold on it for a long time. And Blizzard had a very big ruling about, for example, you're not allowed like gambling sponsors and so on, and alcohol sponsors and stuff. And so a lot of these sponsors that actually prop up a lot of the bigger esports were never allowed in StarCraft because of Blizzard. So, I mean, and I get it, like, to an extent, but, like, I feel like we're at a point now where, like, obviously, like, I'm not saying, like, let's let any random crypto gambling site just sponsor StarCraft, but, like, I had to turn down a lot of sponsors in the past that were from fairly legitimate gambling sites and so on, that just weren't allowed to be sponsoring tournaments. I'm not saying it would have made the difference, but, yeah, it was mostly a Blizzard ruling, you know? So, Stalker's gonna get there, Banshee's gonna go down. Gonna get a little grab right away. What would I say to the argument that SCT needs more random elements? Not at all, because StarCraft 2 is literally an expression of skill. It's the expression of 1v1 skill. Randomness in StarCraft goes completely against what StarCraft 2 is good for, you know? There's already randomness in StarCraft 2. Purposefully trying to add more randomness to that, I think, is very unnecessary, right? Like some things, like randomness is not a bad thing necessarily, but I think StarCraft 2 has a good level of like, randomness is like a very minimal thing, right? And I think adding anything more than that to it unnecessarily is just a silly idea. So yeah. That's, I think the problem there. Stalkers. I thought he was going to get the medevacs there, but he does not. In fact, just loses a bunch of Stalkers on this blink. So I've not really commented as much on this game because I've been getting distracted by chat, but that's actually a pretty serious starting point where hero's just lost a bunch of those Stalkers. In general, this opening's been... It's not been bad for hero. He's a bit worse resources lost by, but that's mostly the last few Stalkers. That blink there was costly as he gets pushed back across the map. I'm a little bit terrified that hero just doesn't have anything to really fight this army off right now. Colossus on the way. Bio is approaching already, though. It's going to be seeing the Bio getting set up. Pylon will go down. Gateway, Cybercore. Going to get jumped on there for the moment. As we are going to see the units coming in from the other side. Just going to be having ourselves the... Again, structure's taking some damage at the moment, so some damage being dealt. Just going to be seeing the Gateway and the Cybercore coming through. Going to be seeing the Zealots. Gonna get blasted. Plus gonna be taking some more damage. Just gonna be having the trying to get through the front there. Clem is not gonna be able to. As you're gonna lift up, and we're not gonna back away. What's up, by the way, BLCA plan? Thank you so much for the 2-month resub on the Prime. Sorry guys, I don't know why my pings aren't showing up on the stream, but Maybe Stream Elements just lagging or so. Says, thanks for all you do for all you do for the community. Thank you so much for supporting it, mate. Genuinely mean it. Prime subs, they go a long way. Any support goes a long way and allows us to keep on doing our thing. So I thank you very much for supporting it. Thank you so much. Here it kind of pushes Clem away for a moment or two, so game is going to continue as... It's crazy how much of a difference that Thermal Lance is about to make, because, man, those Colossus were so exposed, and even right now, can we get units in front of these Colossus to defend? The Stalkers are going to end up tanking the damage, the Marauders to spread and fight. Yeah, okay, we push it back. Clem felt like he could kind of fight in the Colossus, and it's one of those moments where the moment the Colossus start to survive longer than they're meant to, like, it just backfires, you know? It just goes completely the wrong direction as a couple of Vikings come through, the Widow Mine's coming up, Marine, Marauder, and the Ghost coming by as well. We will see another little scan overhead, the Observer going down. Three Stalkers gathering, again the couple of Vikings, and the Ghost continue to come about. We'll just see a little bit of the bio there, force the Stalkers to blink back once more. A couple of Colossus shots going in toward the bio. Just going to get ourselves the Observer that's nearby. Yeah, Clem got a bit overly aggressive, and it's given herO kind of a pathway back into this game that was not really there previously. So, giving you that pathway back into action. These Zealots coming around that right-hand side. The Stalkers, the Colossus, starting to get involved a little bit as well. Plus 2 attack coming through as the Bioforce will split, and we're just going to be seeing the Stalkers and the Colossus continue to step through as well. A couple of Vikings are going to fire away, and we are going to see the Colossus still taking hits. Actually, a lot of them getting low, right? If we do start to knock Colossus down, that's the issue. Stalkers are in the back, which means the Colossus are getting hit by the Vikings, and there's no return fire. Clem pulls those Vikings back immediately when the Stalkers come forward for them as well. I think that's one of the things we've not seen Terrans do enough of. Kind of just accepting the moment where the Vikings are getting shot down, and just being like, nope, 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 bring them back. Let's try and kill the Stalkers now instead. There's so many like back and forth interactions in a TvP fight in this day and age, and I feel like we'll continue to develop. I talked about it a lot recently, but one of the key developments has really been the fact that as a Protoss player, you can kind of just, you know, come into a PvT and sort of be like, hey, you know what we're going to do today? And you're like, what we're going to do today? I'm actually going to start target firing down Vikings. And it's made a massive difference. It's made the Colossus play so much more difficult to deal with. And now it's about, I think, for the Terrans, figuring out how they're going to protect those Vikings a bit more, how they're going to babysit them a bit better, to try and stop those Stalkers from just having such a good time. That's a great drop in the main base. As there is no recall available, Warpins are going to be limited soon because pylons are going down. The Forge is in trouble. I'm not going to finish that off, although maybe we will still get the chance because we're just going to pull back and fight those Zealots. The rest of the army is going to start showing up. Man, Clem actually did a fantastic job of trading here. How long does he stick around? Stalker's trying to show up now. I think Clem's still just sort of like, you know what, I'm actually getting an okay-ish trade. Lifts one medevac units back up. herO brings everything to that right side, opens the door on the left. The Colossus there was exposed. The Vikings could have had it, but Clem not watching, or maybe just a step too far away from being able to see in the first place. That definitely felt like a chance for Colossus to be fallen. As we see everything regathering up. 2-2 upgrades plus 1 ship weapons continuing to come through currently. Bio gathering out in front of the base. A couple of Stalkers coming online. The gateways are coming online. Add a Colossus in there as well. Bio wants to come down to that right-hand side. Aim for that Nexus. Is going to get jumped on a little bit. herO unable to currently kind of... I mean, it's so... I think it's just been mentioned in the chat, but basically what I'm just thinking is like, it's crazy because you see so many of these herO games where he starts just... Once he gets map control, he never gets pushed back, right? And that's just not been true at all in this game, you know? Clem has pushed him back, you know, a couple of times over. Maybe to a fault at a certain point even, right? Maybe he overcommitted at one time. But he's not having that kind of control he usually has, which... It's making a world of difference. And these Vikings, man, they are just killing all the Colossus again. This one survives on a slither of HP. It's not going to be the best of fighters for the future. One Viking in the sky would get rid of that right now. They're on the ground. They're going to lift up. They are going to get the Colossus, surely. And they blink in after these units. The Marauders are kind of low HP. Reinforcements start showing up. A little scrappy still for Clem as he pulls back away. herO, my issue for herO right now is that he needs to kind of win on momentum. And I just don't know if he's got enough to do that because Clem is going to have just a good army set up. And herO currently is just basically thoroughly building and relying on the incoming Colossus production. So I feel like that's probably going to be the big kind of turning point of this as the bio comes back around. The Stalkers and the Colossus get chased away. Bio firing through. Colossus is going to be right there. He's going to see those couple of Vikings will set up as well. Again, Marine Marauder, Medevac still building out for the moment as we just have Stalker's going to get there, Viking going down. Going to continue to chase. A few SCVs dropping off there one more time. Just going to be seeing the Colossus going to show up. A little bit of the bio getting turned around. I mean, these fights are back and forth, but herO is just bleeding out. 30 army supply remaining, almost sub 100 supply there. And again, we don't have the control of the game. And because of that, we don't have that base or that probe can that we're usually reliant on as herO or as a bunch of other Protoss players do in this matchup lately. So that definitely has a pretty huge impact as well, I would say, as the fire comes across. The Prism can get turned around and Zealot going down immediately. More Stalkers are building, armor upgrade coming online. Forge and the Nexus still building through. Fire's still going to chase. Stalker gets pushed back a little further. Recall of a couple Colossus down to that bottom left-hand side. You have our +3 attack. Marine Marauder, Viking building as well. EMP goes down on the Prism. Keep on chasing through. We are going to see that Colossus is going to get jumped. I mean, this is what the Forces are for this time, to try and keep the Terran away from the Colossus. And again, it's all about protecting those, and it's just not really been the game for keeping Colossus alive. It's just not happened very much. A new Colossus shows up. Still, again, it's amazing how long they survive. With the Zealot warping in front, Clem is going to have to back it up, at least for the moment. He does kill the one on the right side, so still getting some value here. But man, I honestly, I think herO's obviously dead, but like, he's still making so much happen more than what I ever really expected him to be able to. Probes are going to pull, because we really are making something resembling a last stand in this moment. As the bio is not going to be overrun by the Zealot warping. And when your Zealot warping doesn't force the Terran to run away a little bit, that's when you know you're probably going to be in some trouble. GG's. That is going to be Clem. Community voting for maps and stuff, blah, blah, blah. But actually, I mean, honestly, in small tournaments, it's not a bad thing to just get the community involved, right? Like, that's the sort of thing that, like, you know, smaller tournaments, not the biggest deal in the world, right? You know, if you have a bad map or two in there, it's whatever. People can veto it, you know. People can use it if they think it's good. So it's kind of the place to test out those sort of things. So just coming back, because it's obviously pretty adamant. It's like, this is silly. But obviously, it's not like we're talking about voting onto the, voting these maps onto ladder or something. So, yeah, I mean, smaller tournaments, I think it's probably a nice little touch, really, overall. I was just thinking about this, and then the game got interesting, so I never got to come back to it, so yeah. Bottom left, up a game, Clem in this best of 5. As we have in the top left-hand side, the Red Protoss player herO, game 2 of the series. If Jason, Probe's gonna get hunted. Cybercore Nexus both coming through, get that settled into place. Probe going around, warp gate coming up and online. We get that settled. Factory and the reactor coming through as well. Again, just follow this probe for a few moments. Early game, figuring out where our players are going to go. Marine here from Clem is fun, because obviously that means we are not playing the Reaper. That's 50 gas that goes into the factory a little bit sooner instead, so a little bit of a difference maker on that one. As our starport comes up, command center going to be coming through. Double Hellions still building up as well for the moment. I think SCT players have been too spoiled and coddled by map makers and Blizzard. Make SCT players plan procedurally generated maps like Age of Empires has. Oh no, your mineral spawns further away than your opponents. Deal with it and get good. I think the bad thing would be like, oh, what? You didn't spawn? Oh no, you didn't spawn with a natural expansion? Looks like you're one base all inning. It's really a test of skill, because now you have to be able to one base all in as well as being able to play your macro game, you know? Your opponent's natural is in their main base? Unlucky, bro. Stalker's gonna hit. Hellions take some damage. You push around a little bit. Phoenix coming around. The warp gate getting going. Again, the tech lab and the bunker coming through. And we just have ourselves with Phoenix out. Bit of a different approach here from herO, and that's going to be very good defensively. And Clem is going for the 4 with a mine drop, so if you can deny 4 mines from doing anything at all with these Phoenix, then that would be great. Don't think we've got enough lifts to fully deny them right now, but let's see how much we can minimize the damage here. Obviously, there's going to be no hanging around after the fact, as Clem will get through. The Widow Mines will begin to burrow. The Probe's even pulling on one of those. 3 lifts. No, my goodness. Wow, it was a split in the end, and the Unburrow Rebo is actually good from Clem. That's the Adept and the Probe, and he was about to try and save a Widow Mine. Yeah, that wasn't really great, though, right? I mean, that's 3 mines. Should be a 4th mine somewhere, right? Or maybe one died in the medevac, so it doesn't show up in the unit slots. Anyway, 4 mines in a medevac for... I was going to say just a Probe and an Adept, but the Hellion gets in, and the Hellion is what does the damage. Oh, herO. After an absolutely impeccable defense in the main. It all comes apart on the natural as that Hellion shows up, and a couple of Hellions just go through and they go big. Damn. Because that was literally, the Widow Mine's got like 1 probe. Maybe the other mine didn't fire or something. It was hidden away somewhere. I didn't see, but either way, ending up on 9 workers killed when it looked like it was such a solid defense is really a shame. As the factory lifts off the tech lab, goes over to the reactor. Cyclone locking on, chasing the Phoenix back for a few moments. Direct's going to go drop down onto the tech lab. And yeah, we keep on Corona boosting away at our probes for the moment. Phoenix actually going to dive in for the Viking. I was going to say that Phoenix is super low. Would have been incredible if it got away, but it does not. Come back around up into the center. Cyclone locking on. Phoenix still taking some shots. As we have got the Cyclone going down. The Marines still getting underneath. Phoenix still being chased. Marines do get pushed away there. Stimpack, Combat Shield, and +1 all continue to come out for the moment. Charge on the way. Gateway coming by. And the few Marines just gathering up on the main base for a little bit. And Temple Archives coming through, the gates and the probes coming about, the +1 armor and the charge coming around as well. I'm just going to be seeing the missile turret firing onto the Phoenix. This is, obviously the Phoenix continue to try and hold out and deal a little bit more damage. But at this point where we've lost 5 Phoenix in this game, and that's a pretty substantial amount. Clem's lost about a similar amount of resources lost. It always feels bad losing Phoenix because the Phoenix count is meant to be high to really kind of qualify as something that is a little bit scary or a little bit kind of viable in this scenario. So, not really sure about that at the moment. Storm and the charge both coming up. Now you've seen the +1 coming through as well. And the Marine's going to get there. Phoenix getting bounced around. Concussive shells in production 2 as the bio will go up to the top side of the map just for the moment. Bio going to be there. And that getting turned away. Still got that storm, the armor upgrade. Continue to come about as well. Knock down those rocks, remove some of the flanking potential. Another Widow Mine shot hitting the Phoenix once again. Going to get another kill. Storm just not ready yet. A few seconds away. Clem, is he going to respect the High Templar having energy? Widow Mine's going off, hitting the Phoenix. Phoenix trying to drag those Widow Mine splashes over the Bayou. And Storm is 7 seconds away, and those are Blizzard seconds too, so they go down pretty quickly. Just don't know if it's enough as the couple of Widow Mines are going to burrow through here. Zalt's going to get hit in the face. He just doesn't seem to have anything left over. Two more Zalts showing up. Phoenix is going to get taken down. The High Templar going to sit there. And the Bio still pulling back. A couple of those Zalts, very much so, still getting cleaned up for the moment. Zalts will be chased. We turn around again. Nice Storm. Going to get rid of the battery here. Another Storm coming down onto a few of those Marauders. Put a mine unburrows. Phoenix lifts up the Widow Mine instead. Just going to see the Zalts continuing to charge forward, and they're going to continue to get taken down at the moment. The Widow Mine shot firing up. A couple of Zalts still going down. The Bio still kiting back for now. As we do have ourselves the Archon. And so, just trying to make a defense. I mean, herO's hanging on for dear freaking life. But, yeah, we can all see the reality of this one, which is that it's clearly a little bit too far gone, I think. Fire tries to step through. I mean, a couple of Archons are quite nice and tanky. I can't believe we still have Phoenix, as the Mine Track is surprisingly effective this time around. Liberate gets some great shots off, including really hitting through that Archon. Chunking away at it. The High Templar there going down after a couple of storms. That were okay, but not the, game-changing storms that herO kind of needs them to be. Continuing to trail, continue to suffer. And Clem just keeps rallying into this position. There's no need to look elsewhere. Clem is getting it done. Clem is only on the 2 bases, right? So, eventually if herO was able to hold, this would turn into, something of a playable position for him. But, I mean, we are... Yeah, it's just unlikely, realistically. Just unlikely, as see the probes still trying to show up. Pulling the probes in defensively is obviously not exactly looking great either. Again, this is just going to be Clem. Wasn't the recall. I mean, herO is hanging on for dear life and beyond. If I'm Clem, I think we ignore the I'm glad I think we ignore the natural and we just third base. Sorry, we just go to the natural and we just kind of fight here. Really, herO's trying to buy time, so why the hell give him that time? That base being alive or not doesn't matter to you in the long run. You're looking for the win right here and now. As if he's showing up too. We have got the few storms in the background. One High Templar goes down. The second High Templar never had the energy. Storms don't come in. And, well, we've kind of seen that this game's been over for a little bit. But herO will make a final dive through. And this time it will be over in favor of Clem for a 3-0. Or are we going to fight back herO? I'm not dropping max against herO, be wild. Yeah, but I mean, Clem actually used to have a very dominating record against herO for a while. It's just recently herO actually really started to fight back a lot, so... Yeah. I mean, obviously herO's good. I'm not saying it's not impressive. We've seen it before. We've also seen herO, a few weeks back, and when I did that kind of double stream, herO absolutely dominated Clem. The 3-0 in my event was super fast and one-sided. And then he played the Monday Night Weeklies, and Clem finally took some maps after losing a bunch more to herO already. GSL champion coming across the map with a probe down 0-2. Next is the question: what should be seen as the more prestigious event, guys? The GSL championship or the WardiTV Mondays? Yeah, clearly the Mondays. Well, gateways coming through. Barracks in production. Let's have ourselves the forward gateway here. I mean, I like it. hero's obviously not having much success in the more regular kind of opening games. He's tried Blink, he's tried Phoenix. I don't think there's anything wrong with whacking down the forward gateway and trying to utilize that instead. You see, factory coming up, STV coming about, the warp gate coming through. We get that settled in. Cancels the command center because he realizes that there is no nexus, and so he's immediately concerned. Does not want to have to try and defend the low ground here. Bunker's in an interesting place, no. Can he still build a depot next to that barracks to wall off? I feel like you can't wall off now. I guess with the bunker up, you're not going to mind too much, but the Stalker is going to wander up here. It's still a wall off against the Stalker, but it's not a wall off against... Is that a wall off against an Adept as well? An Zealot? Is it really? Oh, that's like... These Terran buildings need some more like things, because I feel like that Zealot could just slide through there, you know? I feel like the Zealot could just slide through there if you wanted to. Ay. Marines coming about, CC Tech Lab on the way through. And Adept just going to shade up that ramp, trying to poke forward a little bit, with a couple of Stalkers hitting the depots. And the SCVs pull in. Depots going to get repaired for a little while. And we do a little bit of back and forth here. For the moment, Stalkers and the Adepts just going to continue to carry about. Bell steps up, Adept coming around. And a couple of Stalkers going to fire away, Depot going to take some damage, Cyclone going to step forward. And Twilight Council's about halfway through. The Orbital and the Starport still coming up, the Cyclone getting a lock on. Hitting that Stalker and pushing it the other way for a few moments. The Adept shade up there, but the wall off is going to be good and well placed. Two Stalkers chasing the Cyclone. Cyclone locking on. Actually going for the Stalker is not going to happen, so the Cyclone goes down. It's a nice unit to get rid of, actually, right? The Cyclone falling here just means that we do have a a little bit less kind of, that lock-on potential is pretty high, especially before Blink. A lock-on can stick a lot of the time, so do not mind that. The Medevac Cyclone, a couple of Marines coming about. It's going to be seen our Cyclone still coming through. The Medevac going to be finishing shortly. Trying to get to the low ground here to fight against this. Clem's desperate to kind of get towards his natural. Does not want to be contained forever. He is successfully going to get down this ramp. This new Cyclone going to show again the power. Lock on is not always a guaranteed kill, but it's much more guaranteed than other things. The Stalkers turn around, but they don't hit the Cyclone, so it's going to be good to get rid of the Sentry. And now the Cyclone continues up. Stalker goes down there as well. And Clem is successfully going to be out down to his natural, so he can take that position and tank here as well. That's going to make it a lot more difficult for herO to continue poking forward. And he's going to realize it right now that this is going to be kind of scary. He's going to eat a couple of tank shots. And the Cyclone again, still locked on. Power of the Cyclone. Gets rid of that Stalker now. Gateway is still here, going to provide warping potential as that Blink finishes up in the next few moments. So we'll get that going as the next step of this. Raven, Siege Tank, and a couple of Marines coming by as well. I have no memory of the first game. The first game was the game where Clem kept killing Colossus and chasing Colossus. Like, Clem was ahead and then he chased Colossus and he wasn't as ahead, but he was still ahead. Yeah, the first game was on Incorporeal, right? Yeah. First game was pretty funky. But it's still kind of bleeding out units here a little bit this time around, right? I mean, that's, yeah. A little bit going down. Let's see if we can defend right now as the Raven falls here as well. Siege Tank in good position and is going to be able to help push this back. So hero's not going to go any further. He didn't get rid of the bunker or the tank here, which means that you're going to continue to have kind of both those defensive kind of, you know, setups in place, and that's very important for Clem, as you're going to hit the natural with this Prism and then move to the main. Clem already had one Marauder on the way through, but that alone will not fight off these 4 Stalkers, so that is not going to get done what is necessary for this situation. They were doing a good job of this and getting themselves 6 SCVs, just taking control early and definitely maintaining that control in a pretty heavy way. Put a lot of work in for himself here so far. As the Immortal charge continue to come online. Two more buy-ins coming across, the Prism coming back over as well. Just stepping back over there. I'm going to go join back up with a group of these Stalkers right now. Again, Stimpack, Combat Shield, Medivacs, and Marines will continue to come about currently. We've got our Command Center on the way through as well. Tank firing, a couple of Stalkers taking hits. The bio units there to push those Stalkers back the other direction. Stimpack is about to be done. Just gets his Medivac coin, he just taps out. He's going to give hero the game. Alright, well, pressure from the start in the bottom right-hand side, up 2-1. How a red Terran player is Clem. He takes on the blue Protoss. In the top left corner of the map, we've got herO. So, Clem, not going to be under a proxy bit of pressure this time around, so we're going to step back away from the success in the last game. Obviously, the kind of thing that's not going to be successful if you just try and do it again and again and again and again, right? So, it makes sense to be stepping back into something a little different. It's coming up. Barracks coming through. Just for the moment. As you see the Nexus coming down, getting that straight into place. That Cybercore underway. Just going to see the Nexus continue online. Get that up and running. Command Center coming about. And yeah, the Orbital Command and the Command Center continue to come by for the moment. It's just going to keep that going. Next Cybercore coming through. Probe coming up. And SCV still scouting by here into the main base. It drops down the factory. Yeah, thank you, Achilles, by the way. 8-month resub on the Prime. Appreciate it, mate. I do not know why my my alerts have just gone quiet, but such is the world, apparently. There's the factory coming about. Okay, coming through. Nexus coming around. Take a few moments. Continue setting up. Max is going to come over to the side there, going to drop on down, and we do have ourselves the Orbital, the Starport, both coming up. All those Hellions coming by, the Twilight Council coming in as we speak, currently halfway done. So you're seeing exactly where herO is taking this. Only early few moments here, get that all underway. A couple of Hellions coming about. And up to the top side. And we'll see if we can do anything. Obviously poking through early. May look to try and get some opportunity. Some damage dealt in these early stages. So we'll see what we can do. Plank, Stalker, and the Warp Gate continue to come around. It's going to see a couple of SCVs coming about. The Medevac coming in as well. Widow Mines. Going to be set down Burrowed, and the Hallucination will see the Widow Mine drop coming across the map. So you're very aware right now of here of what's going on. You know the Widow Mine drop is coming. You know that the yeah, he spots it. I love this second Hallucination just to keep track of the Widow Mine drop. And he knows that the two Hellions are out the front as well, so I don't think he's going to let damage be done like he did in that previous game where the 4 Widow Mines didn't do much. But then the Hellions did quite a lot. Now, of course, that was with the Phoenix, so actually being able to just stop these Widow Mines even as they unloaded was possible. That's less potent here, and I love it. herO's in position as Clem tries to dart across into the natural instead. Good positioning there by herO. The Widow Mines do get burrowed up. Let's see what they can do as they go for a Stalker. They go for a few probes. 5 workers down at the moment. And do we have 1 Widow Mine left in the medevac? I believe we do, and that's going to go flying to the upper corner. herO pulled the probes even there, so still finding himself 5 workers. That medevac's super low, but it's still going to keep a unit or 2 back in the corner to make sure it doesn't get to come back in and drop off once again. Stand back building, medevac chilling. And these couple of Hellions just going to be pulling back around as obviously they were never allowed in. So herO's still doing his best. I mean, this is still a fairly committed attack, right? It's 6 factory units early in the game. So it is kind of, you know, choosing to kind of build heavily off the factory. That does delay other parts of this build order. Like I said, at least that medevac's low enough. It's unlikely to do much else. The Raven will come along the top, get between the natural and the third base, and you have a couple of different positions to try and potentially make something happen with as well. Stim combat, +1, continue to come about. We do have our charge and the +1 attack upgrade coming through. A few Zealots are on the way in. And the Robo Bay and the gateways continue to come around here for the moment. And we just have kind of collection of upgrades continue to come about right now. So upgrades coming through from Clem as he hits those bio upgrades. We'll see him hitting a little bit more toward being full strength. So Zealots warping in. +1 on the charge coming through. The Robo Bay finishing shortly. The couple of gateways are going to be done soon. And Marine Marauder medevac also will continue now. The Widow Mine's added on. A couple more barracks coming through as the medevacs will unload a few of the Marines already. Of shells now on the way up. That +1 attack will be finishing very shortly again. Marauders coming by. Barracks still on the way through. The Nexus into the top right corner as well. So we continue to get that on the way up. For the moment, as the Colossus produces on the Robo. The Marines and those Widow Mines are going to go in after the Zealots for a few moments too, as the Zealots are going to get into that natural, but Clem is close enough that this shouldn't be too much of a problem. Hold position on the SCVs makes it difficult for the Zealots to get rid of any of them. herO just going to even recall it back home, so can keep a lot of those Zealots alive. He's moving on the map, taking the opportunity to get out here with the rest of his force. Clem is going to be coming out to meet him as he sits in front of the third base. Loads up a few units in the medevacs. Scary moment to do so, because herO is threatening the idea coming down this ramp, and Clem is not sieged up or anything. What does he want to do with the Raven? He's going to start dropping a couple of auto turrets. It's interesting how much the auto turrets have been the go-to kind of answer lately for the Terrans, especially Clem's been auto turreting a lot with the Raven when it's in the main army. Marine's going to unload. They're going to run toward the third base, but some Zealots just warped in. That was an accidental warp in from herO. Like, that wasn't a warp in that was, like, meant to be there to defend this drop. It was just, oh, I'm going to warp in and walk across the map. And it was just at the time as those Marines arrived, so A little bit of RNG in favor of herO there. As you can see, the Zealots were surprised to see the Marines as the Marines were to see the Zealots, I suppose. Marines fighting, Stalkers taking shots. Top right side, a bunch of those pros will continue to go down. Raven moving around. That's the 11 probes getting picked away at. As you just see the rest of the army continue to come over. A little bit of fire going to unload in the back. Forge coming in. There's that medevac. Oh, that's so sad. I thought he was going to drop the Widow Mine off. He would have finally had a chance to actually do something with that from the early stages. Clem's losing a lot of units here, obviously causing chaos. Is he going to be able to cause enough chaos? Going after that 4th base? Looks as though he will get it. Widow Mines are going to soften up. A bunch of the Zealots are coming through. The only problem is those units are going to be trapped there. There's no medevac escape for them. Clem's running more reinforcements up. He does not have the numbers to fight at the moment at all. He seems to know it. He's going to GG out, and we're going to get all the way to a Game 5 here between herO and Clem. We are going to go, as we have in the bottom right-hand side, the blue Terran player is going to be Clem. Repping Team Liquid, of course, still. And, of course, for Twisted Minds, our red Protoss in the top left corner of the map will be herO. Final game, herO's brought it back. Again, he was looking pretty hopeless in the first couple games, but getting all of that control back under his belt for game 3 and 4, and it has been about control. Down on the map, having control, forcing fights, taking fights when Clem's not quite ready. That's been the secret of success here for herO across the games. So let's see if we can find it one more time in, like I say, this game 5. As we bring this up and get it running. Corona boosting away. Gate in the simulator coming online. We got that up and running right now. As we will nibble at the probe, bit of damage being done. Let's use Jason. Probe taking some damage. Cybercore on the next is very much so still coming through for the moment. As Depth and Warp Gate continue to come online, we get that going. Factory building up, the reactor on the way in, and get ourselves into play on this one. City building, factory in the reactor, refinery coming up, a couple of Marines coming in. We have ourselves the Twilight Council as well from herO. Played that one game with that Phoenix opener. Has been back to the Blink ever since. Obviously, the other game when he did play a Forward Gateway with Blink as a follow-up eventually. Stepping a fight, a few Marines are there. And Twilight Council and the Gateway both coming through. Starport still coming up, CC on the way for the moment as our tech lab comes down on the factory, and that Adept is still threatening the idea of moving into the natural. Maybe trying to get up to something here for the next few moments. Let's see the Stalk playing. A couple Marines going to get turned around. The Adept's going to go shading forward as well. I see that Adept's still shading forward a little bit. A few Marines gathering together, SCV patrolling back and forth. Cyclone is going to lock on, and the Stalker will be chased away. And that is going to be a nice catch, and the Adept is obviously going to have to shade to safety, although it's shading toward the Terran base at the moment, where the Marines are going to meet it. Kind of a few low Marines, however, and that means the Adept will at least get some kills. So Clem loses out on some numbers, as he will then lift the remaining Marines, and we are going to head across the map with them, try and get some extra value out of them. So there we go. Medevac takes its journey across. As the drop heads to the upper left-hand side. Probe facility and that blink coming through. Battery and the couple probes on the way. Gets set up for the moment as the Medevac will unload into the main base. Cyclone the few Marines. There's a good amount of Stalkers here. Blink is not far from being done. I do not think this is a time for Clem to stick around, and I think it's time for him to go straight back home, because like I say, Blink is not far from being done, and that means that that Medevac is truly in danger if it tries to stick around at all. So, yeah, get the hell out of there for the moment. Makes a lot more sense than anything else. Banshee tank and a couple Marines come through. Interference Matrix coming online. Seeing the few Marines and the tank stepping up. The Stalker's warping into the sides. Actually going to catch this Stalker. Obviously can blink away to safety. Uh-oh, these two armies are missing each other. Clem pulling a handful of SCVs across as well. Who do we like this more for? He was going to get in and do some immediate damage. Clem's going to show up and potentially get a bit of a preemptive siege. I think herO needs to be careful about how much he commits here. Gets the tank. I actually think he should be thinking of recalling now, because he knows units are missing. He knows units are going to be somewhere. The sooner you recall, the sooner you can take position to defend this. Now he recalls, but the tanks are going to be sieging up. Those probes are going to be in trouble. Do we just hit the probes? No, we're going to hit the Stalkers. Banshee taking some damage. Actually manages to pull away there. A lot of probes going down. The tanks get blinked upon, as Clem will be killing 10 workers in return for the 12 he lost. Of course, there's a lot of Clem's army going down, but he's killed a decent amount of Stalkers too. A few SCVs still mixed in here for Clem. 17 probes dead. He will lose a handful more SCVs. hero's going to come out with this about 9 workers ahead, but that third base is huge. Having a third base in this scenario is absolutely massive, because that truly means that you can keep on producing workers so much faster than Clem while being in a great position. I think this has gone all the right ways for herO, because he's also going to have Blink Stalkers to continue to move around the map with. Look at that instant Robo Bay coming down, and I think herO is going to net himself the advantage here. Now there's a Banshee going across the map. It's not enough Stalkers to really fight a siege tank. Just being able to do anything right now with these few Stalkers is nice, so definitely still a bonus, as a few Marines will unload in the back of the main mineral line, and we'll begin to go after a few workers. There's 5-6 SCVs going down. I mean, again, just Blink Stalker is going to be extremely valuable here. They can do so much, and there's not a lot of tech to fight back with on the side of Clem, so his tank's just kind of slow chasing these Stalkers around, but they do get a little stuck in the main base, and hey, the Banshee did well as well. 5 probes going down, so making up for some of the SCV losses. Clem is trying to stick around in it, just needs to get up to stim. That's going to take him a little while. That's going to be the one thing he's really missing right now. The problem is, I think by the time Clem really gets anything done, there should be a Colossus on the map, right? Like, by the time Clem gets anywhere kind of substantial, there should be a Colossus, and so I think herO would have a fairly safe defense at that point. Medevac going down, which is not ideal as well. Just the Medevac flying straight over those units is another little mistake. Clem is absolutely falling apart. It looks as though herO is 100% going to take this series. Man, it's amazing to see kind of the matches swing, right? Because Clem was looking undefeatable in games 1 and 2 all day long. Got game 3, just something a little bit more aggressive from herO, and it really feels like it had such an impact on the series. He just plays that kind of aggressive build and kind of gets under Clem's skin a little bit, I think. And what a distance it goes. Tanks down, it's only Marines. Like I say, if we eventually build a Colossus, that would probably just get it done here for herO against what Clem has left at this stage. Because Clem is really not working with much. Might not even need the Colossus. The Stalker's an Immortal to chase down those Marines. They are still stimless Marines. No bunker or any sort of defense here. No tank out. The next one is a few seconds from popping. They're about to have stim at least, which is something, but we're going to lose a lot of units in the attempted defense here anyway. As we are going to be seeing the tank on the high ground goes down immediately. Wow, what a great blink that is to remove that tank from the equation. Well done. Well done, says Clem. Wow. Well done. That was well done, I think, though, from herO. Because I actually think herO really broke Clem down with that aggression in Game 3. I think he got in his head a